Hey, Shalom family, Most High Christ bless. I'm Captain Karatazar out of IUIC Houston, and this is 15 Minutes with the Captains. All right, we're going to jump right into it. I want to talk about commitment. Commitment. Matter of fact, that's the topic for the class, commitment. When you think commitment, you could be committed to so many things, but we're going to focus in on just for this truth, commitment to the truth. So, reader, if you would, let's get the definition of commitment. You can read 1 and 2.
Sir, this is the definition of commitment. The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc.
Dedicated to a cause or an activity. All right. What is the cause? The cause is the kingdom of heaven, keeping God's laws. What's the activity? Right here in this truth, right here with our UIC. Verse definition 2.
Definition number 2, an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action.
An engagement that restricts your actions means certain things you are not going to do because you are engaged or attached to a cause or an activity. All right. So that is basically what commitment is. You are stating that you're going to be committed to a cause, and then you're going to restrict your actions to be nothing but successful for that cause of activity. All right. So let's jump into the scriptures and get a little bit more understanding on commitment. Let's go to Romans. We're going to read chapter 12. We're going to start at verse 1.
Romans chapter 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God.
Holy and acceptable unto God. Your body as a reasonable sacrifice, meaning what? You're dedicating your life and your body, soul, mind, spirit, everything to this truth. Holy, acceptable, go ahead, read.
Which is your reasonable service.
Acceptable unto God, which is what? Your reasonable service. Why is it a reasonable service? Just like Christ gave his life to make sure that you would have a chance at getting at the kingdom, you should be willing to give your life for him, to stand for him in these days, so that you would be able to enter into the kingdom. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
And don't be messing around and conform to this world. You get along with this world. Everything that you do is of this world. Remember what Christ said, the world hated him. So if the world hated him, why would you conform to the world that hates him? You wouldn't. You should conform to the law, statutes, and commandments. Read.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Transferred by the renewing of your mind. Thinking upon your actions. Thinking about the things that you stand for. The life that you're living, to say, you know what? I'm going to align myself to what these scriptures say. Read.
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
That you may show yourself good, perfect, and acceptable unto God by committing your ways into this truth. All right. Go to Psalms chapter 37 and verse 5. All right. Committing our ways into this truth. Psalms chapter 37 and verse 5.
Psalms chapter 37, verse 5. Commit thy ways unto the Lord.
Think on your actions. Think on the things that you're doing and turn them to the law, statutes, and commandments. Read and find out what is it that you must do in order to get into the kingdom, and set that as your purpose. Read.
Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass.
Jump to verse 7.
Verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him.
Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. When it says wait patiently, it doesn't mean stop doing the work. It means you come in and you stay committed unto him, and you stay faithful in doing the work until the kingdom comes, or until the day you die, whichever comes first. Read.
Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way.
And don't worry about the people that you see out in the world that are prospering in their ways. Read.
Because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass.
Understand that they're prospering in wickedness, meaning what? It's not everlasting. It is just for that season. And when that time is up, they're going to the grave, right? There will be a punishment and repercussions for that. So I know when we say commitment, we get a lot of ideas in our head. So I just want to run a few picks by y'all concerning the commitment. So IT, show them first two. Show the first one right there. A lot of us, when we see commitment, that's the first thing we think about. You say you committed. All right. So we see here a couple are hand in hand going in marriage. Of course, we don't go to rings. That's a heathenist custom. But understand, they are saying that they're committing themselves to each other in this marriage. Guess what? That's the same way that you're supposed to commit yourself unto the Lord. Remember, your marriage is actually an example of your relationship with Christ. Hey, show that second commitment. Looks like somebody made a commitment to the wrong things. So, you want to make sure y'all are mindful of that, Israel. All right. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 24.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
So here's one of our forefathers, and he's showing how he is committed unto the truth, showing how he's committed unto God. He says what? He refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, meaning what? He was a king. He was a ruler over all the lands. He could have easily chose to go with the world. But remember what we read in Romans. It said, be not conformed to this world. Our forefather Moses, he wasn't conformed to the world. He was committed unto God. And he said, by what? By faith, Moses did what?
When he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
He refused to go into the ways of the world. Read.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God.
Choosing rather to be with God and with God's people
than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Then to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Then to be out there in the world and have your 2 minutes or 15 seconds or whatever they say of fame and fortune. And then after that, there's nothing but death and destruction. So that's how one of our forefathers moved in this truth, Where's those other two pictures about us in the military there? Let's show us in the military, because I know a lot of us remember these commitments as well. There you go. Post that one right there. I know there's a lot of us right here that remember that commitment. That commitment there was thrown. Yay. They told us your country before God. They had us brainwashed. And show that next picture. Jake in the trenches, because there you go. You know how Jake does it. We take it to the extreme. He is fully committed into what he believes in. But again, the same way that you see these examples here as far as how we commit in the wrong things, we should also be 100% committed to those things in the truth, in keeping God's laws. All right. Hey, some of our forefathers was actually committed like that. So let's go to read this. First Maccabees, chapter 2. And let's go to verse 50.
First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
Be zealous for the law. Be thrilled for the law. Be willing to give your life for the law. Read.
And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
The covenant of your fathers. The covenant that's going to get you that eternal life, that's going to get you that kingdom, that's going to be there everlasting. All right? Sirach chapter 4, verse 28. One of my other favorite scriptures I like to ponder on. Read that real quick.
Sirach chapter 4 and verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death.
Strive for the truth for how long?
Unto death.
For how long?
Unto death.
When you come into this truth, understand this is a lifelong walk. You strive for this truth unto death. Read.
And the Lord shall fight for thee.
If you can stay committed to the Lord and to his law, statutes, and commandments, God has got your back. Meaning what? You don't have to worry for nothing, because once he steps on the scene and you stay faithful to him, he's going to stay faithful to you. All right. I know it's only 15 minutes. Let's see. One or two more scriptures and we'll be out of here. Psalm 78. Let's go to verse 5. Psalm 78 and verse 5.
Psalms chapter 78 and verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob.
So notice how God was committed unto Israel. Remember, he says, I gave my laws, statutes, and commandments to Israel, and no other nation has known him, when you read in the book of Psalms 147. But here we go, Psalm 78 and 5. He established a testimony in who?
In Jacob.
Read.
And appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they shall make them known to their children.
And that's from generation on to generation. The same way that we are learning these laws, statutes, and commandments, we should be passing it down to the next generation. And in some instances, the previous generation as well. We should be teaching them laws, statutes, and commandments forever and ever. Continue it until this vicious cycle ends and Christ returns. Read.
Verse 6, that the generation to come might know them.
That this truth might be ongoing throughout all our generations. Read.
Even the children which should be born.
Even those that should be born that are coming. Read.
Who shall arise and declare them to their children.
Now your grandchildren are learning. Now your great-great-grandchildren are learning. Now your great-great-great-grandchildren are learning to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Read.
Verse 7, that they might set their hope in God.
That they might set their hope where?
In God.
That they are committed to God. Read.
And not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments.
But keep his commandments. The same way that we are saying that we are committed to keep God's commandments is the same way that you, Israel, should be committing to keep God's commandments. You should be thinking upon your ways on a daily basis. Remember what Bishop always says, study, pray, and apply. Study, pray, and apply. That apply goes also into commitment. All right? So with that, that's been about 15 minutes with the captains. Again, I am Captain Karazar, UIC Houston. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.